right, all. I am Patrice. I am a singer, songwriter, voice coach who has been in this industry teaching for over 15 years now. So I always like to bring to you all the tips and the tricks that I've learned throughout the years that have helped not only myself, but the hundreds of singers that I've worked with. Now, a common thing that comes up when working with singers is they want to know, Patrice, how do you do runs? So today I want to cover 3 tips that are going to help you to start your journey to mastering riffs and runs. Let's begin. All right, so tip number 1 that I would say is do not neglect your scale work. This is super important. Why is this important? Because a lot of times riffs and runs essentially are just a group of notes coming together in a specific order, right? So when we think about it, we can have as simple of a run as hi, 3, 2, 1. It's like, oh, okay, I do that. You could have a I, right? So if I'm doing good scale work, may, my, now, right? I can start to train my ears and my voice to be able to do multiple notes together. You can start with, when it comes to these runs, these scales, and even runs, with just simple 2-note, right? I. It might also, depends on the kind of way it's presented. Think about that even as a simple grace note. But we'll save that for another day. So you can start with that there. Then you can work your way into I, 1, 2, 3, right? Just a simple 1, 2, 3. Then you could do 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can move that up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so forth. And when you really think about it, again, you can think as you're breaking down the scales in that kind of way. Okay, what order are these notes going in? Which leads me to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is, when it comes to runs, we need to first figure out what are the notes, right? And so if you don't have access to a keyboard or a piano, you can find apps. I have a great one on my phone. It is called Pocket Pitch. Let me just confirm that. But it is free. I'm not endorsed by them. But it is called Pocket Pitch. And basically what it does is it's pretty cool. It gives you those notes there, right? So this way you can start to pluck out the notes. Now, how do we start to even hear them, especially if our ears are still being trained to understand what notes? There's a really awesome tool on YouTube that you can use when it comes to this. And if you see over here in the corner, there's a little wheel. And basically it says playback speed. So if I look at here, Demi Lovato's Run. I'm happy for you. Ooh, I didn't go too far. Let's see. We need to go. There's the run. If happy's high. So if we look at that run in particular, right, it can go a little fast. It can be a little overwhelming. It is a really big one, and it spans, that one right there spans over an octave. Octave standing for 8, which means 8 notes. A range of 8 notes, a little bit more than that. So it's a pretty big run in general. But if I look at that there, I could be like overwhelmed by the fact that it seems like, oh my gosh, where is that? Right? It's like, oh my gosh, where am I going with that? So what you can do is you can go over here. That was playback speed at normal. And then we can hit half speed. So we can hear this. It even lets you go to quarter. So I can start to go, okay, great. Let me go over here. Let me get to my keyboard. I want to make sure I get it close because now we're half speed and it can go really slow. I got the end of that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 7 notes she's singing there, but I can start to pluck them out. It always helps by trying to hear that first one. And you can even just start by kind of going, okay, great, how can I do that? Let me hum it. Oh, that doesn't match. Okay, that's it there. You can start with the first one, then oh, nope, that doesn't work. And so forth. So with that one, we break it down. We go, okay, great. Now I know how to find the notes. So we do, if happy is right, if you want the whole, if happy is right? You can start to break it down. And now this is going to lead me to tip number 3. You may have guessed it coming off of that last one, but tip number 3 is don't try and go at the original speed if you can't get all the notes, right? I always say if you can't hit those notes slower, you're probably not going to be able to do it faster. So that's the beautiful thing about the slow down speed here, this knob here with YouTube, is we can not only start to distinguish what the notes are and find those notes, but now we can take it a little slower. And then if I bring it over here, I go, okay, great. Now I've discovered what the notes are. Now I can bring it up to the speed there, bringing it up to 75. We can go. Right? And then I go, okay, great. I feel good with that. Can I do it without that? Then you would bring it to normal. And you can go back a little bit here. Ooh. If happy is her. Right? I always have to do that last part there. So when you think about it, right, you take it at that. You might even have to take it at 25%. That is okay. That is how you get better at these things here. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do the faster one. I'm not ever going to be able to do it. Really, it's about staying consistent with this and breaking them down piece by piece. So first we start with, right, when it comes to the 3 tips to help with riffs and runs, is tip number 1 was be sure to do your scale work. When we look at that there, right, there was, oop, I played that wrong. We're like, wait, that goes in order with what the scale, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing our scale work. That is going to help us. Tip number 2 is identify the notes. Be sure to know what you are singing. And a great tool is this YouTube here, so you can really slow it down and be able to figure out what is happening there. I should also note on that, if you can and you feel comfortable with reading sheet music, you can sometimes, rather than just the ear training aspect, be able to go to that too and figure them out as well. And then tip number 3 was slow them down. You're not going to be able to do them faster if you can't do them slower. And so as a little extra bonus tip, I guess I'll throw in there, is you have to make sure that your foundation of technical things is in, right? If I can't place notes properly, which is where the sound is going to, it's going to be really hard to make that full run happen. Meaning if I'm placing things in the middle of my mouth, right? I totally choked on that. I have to make sure that whole time I have really good placement. In order to help you with that, below this video or in the link above, you will be able to find a link to my free module of my singing program. I there address the key elements you need to really start to establish your beautiful placement as a performer, as a singer, and also give you vocal exercises to work on. There's excerpts where I break down the understanding of these different things from my vocal program, Learn to Sing Like the Pros. So It's all free, guys. Click below. People always tell me I can't afford this or I can't do this. There you go. You have it right there. So I hope this helps you. Also, lastly, be sure it really helps me if you like, subscribe, comment. That allows me to keep making this content for you all. So I hope this helps you, and I look forward to hearing all your incredible runs. Here's to getting to the top. Bye now.